my name is Kate Kalthoff and welcome to a Stamping to Share video. Today I'm going to share with you how to create a beautiful thank you card that would be perfect for sending out after Christmas just because it looks so warm and fresh. It's a thank you card that was created with the Teeny Tiny Witches set. That's the little thank you that you see here, along with the Quilt Builder Framelits. And you can see sort of what that looks like here. I'm missing one because it's in my big shot machine. And it also features the Quilted Christmas 6x6 paper stack. And the color that I chose to work with was red. And so I just went through until I found a red that I liked, which was this kind of ticking right here. And then I went ahead and I used one of these little red poinsettia elements that I fussy cut and put onto my card. So I'm going to have you take a nice close look to see what that looks like. Another thing that I did is I used something that I rarely use, and that is our silver thread, and I'm going to show you how I applied that. And then I also used our silver faceted gems, which is another item that I have not used a lot, but it is really, really pretty on this card. So let's go ahead and get started. I do want to tell you that if you're interested in getting the Quilt Builder Framelits, I guess I would encourage you to get the Christmas Quilt stamp set along with it. This set can be purchased as a bundle right now in our 2017 Stampin' Up! Holiday Catalog. And of course, when you get it as a bundle, you get 15% off. And so that's kind of a nice incentive to go ahead and get both the stamp set and the framelits at the same time as a bundle. And let's go ahead and I just want to encourage you also that if you love this card and want to make more, be sure that you also pick up your 6x6 stack of quilted Christmas paper, which is also in the holiday catalog. And then of course our Teeny Tiny Wishes is in our annual catalog, the 2017-18 catalog. And so the first thing that we're going to do is take a piece of cardstock. This is real red. It's 4 1/4 by 11 inches, and I've scored it at 5 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take my bone folder and we'll just fold along this score line. Give it a nice press so that it lies flat for us while we work with it. The next thing that I'm going to do is do our inside panel, which is very, very easy. It's just a piece of whisper white paper cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And then on the other side, I took a little 1/2 inch strip of the Designer Series paper that you can find in that Quilted Christmas 6x6 stack. And I just cut a little 1/2 inch strip by 4 inches and put it along the left-hand side. Then I'm just going to take my snail and just run a little line along the back side here, and we can go ahead and open up our card and then just make sure all 4 borders are nice and even and give that a nice little press along the top to kind of burnish it into place. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our next panel, which is crumb cake. It's 4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to go ahead and put this down right now because there's just no reason to really wait. We're going to flip this over, set this right here like so, and just wiggle that into place so that all 4 edges are nice and even. Then the next layer we're going to do some building with. So this is 3 3/4 by 5 inches, and we're going to run this through the Big Shot machine with that Quilt Builder Framelit. So it's going to look like this. Here's what it looks like. I had used the magnetic platform, my cut sheet, and then of course my paper, my little quilt framelit, and then another cut sheet over the top. And then we're just going to take this away, and you can see how nice and easy all of this is falling out. And you have the piece that you're going to be working with. So we're just going to flip this over, and we're going to use a 3-inch square of our 6x6 Quilted Christmas paper stack, and we're going to set this behind, and then we're just going to tape that into place. So once I have it kind of set up where I want it, make sure it's nice and square back there, and then I'm going to take some Scotch tape and we'll just set this into place. Once we have our background paper in place, we can go ahead and we'll work on this little thank you element over here. So I have just a little scrap of crumb cake, and I'm going to take some real red ink. I'm going to ink up my thank you, and we're just going to stamp this right here. So straight down, straight up, and that looks really good. Then we can take our classic label punch, and we are going to just go ahead and center that in and then give that a little punch. The next thing we'll do is we'll just take a scissors and we're just going to trim off a little bit of this edge. And so that's what it's going to look like. So now what we can do is we're going to go ahead and use some snail on the back, and we're going to set this onto our card. So again, we're just going to make sure this is nice and even and press that into place. Then we'll take our little thank you and we're going to set this right over here so that it is just like so. So I'm just going to put that on again with a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue, and we'll just set this over here on the left side, and it looks just like that, and it's just so cute and sweet. All right, now let's add some finishing touches. So again, I took this kind of like a stylized poinsettia look, and I just fussy cut one of those for you. And then we're going to flip that around, and we can add a dimensional here, but rather than do that, I'm actually going to put my dimensional right here. And the reason is I need something to anchor that threading that we're going to be using. So here's that silver thread. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap this around my fingers about 5 times. And once I've done that, I'll trim it. And then I'm going to take this circular loop and I'm going to bring it together so it's a little bit like a figure 8. Then I'm going to find the middle, and we don't necessarily need this to look perfect. In fact, a little bit messier looks good. So once we kind of find the middle, we can just set that in. And then if you want to, you can adjust these loops, kind of spread them out a little bit. And that looks pretty good. I'm going to move it a little bit more to the right, so I didn't quite find the middle there. All right, so let me hold this up to the camera so you can kind of see how this is all setting in here, because I know it's probably pretty hard to see. So that's how I attached it to the card, is right there on top of the dimensional. Then I'll take this little cutout that I did. We're going to set this right in over the top of the dimensional and give it a nice firm press. Then if we have any like little wild stray ends that are much bigger than the card, we want to go ahead and trim those. So I've got one that's right here, so I'll just trim that in a little bit. And that looks pretty good. So we're almost done. Now the crowning touch to this card is just to take one of these silver faceted gemstones, and I'm just going to pull that off with my scissors. And we're going to set this right here, right on top of that little element. And there it is. That's what the card looks like when it's all done. And it's so pretty. It's going to make just a beautiful thank you card for those special Christmas presents. All right, so here is the card I've just done. Here's the card I had completed in advance. I truly appreciate you. I hope you've enjoyed this video tutorial. Thank you so much for stopping by Stamping to Share. If you'd like to place a product order, be sure to visit my blog at www.stampingtoshare.com, and I have links there where you can place your online orders. Have a great day. Bye-bye.